Have you ever looked in the mirror and felt like time is passing faster than it should? I'm not just talking about wrinkles or gray hair, but that constant fatigue, that inexplicable lack of energy, as if your vitality is slipping through your fingers. Now, what if I told you that it's not just time making you age? There are silent habits wearing down your body and mind every single day, and most people don't even realize they're falling into this trap. More than 2,000 years ago, the Stoics already knew that the secret to a long and balanced life isn't just in what we do, but also in what we avoid. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The quality of your life depends on the quality of your thoughts." But what if I told you it's not just your thoughts that are aging you? Your daily habits could be accelerating your physical and mental decline without you even noticing. And the worst part? Many of these habits seem harmless. You might be engaging in some of them right now without realizing the devastating impact they have on your health and appearance. That's why in this video, we're going to reveal 11 silent habits that are making you age faster than you should. The last one, in particular, is something almost no one notices, but it could be completely sabotaging your longevity and vitality. So, if you want to regain your energy, strengthen your mind, and understand how the Stoics apply discipline and wisdom to age with purpose, watch until the end. What we're about to discuss could completely change the way you see your own life. Let's begin. If you want to slow down aging, have more energy, and regain your vitality, you need to make sleep a non-negotiable priority. Here are some Stoic lessons to help you restore your sleep cycle. Control what is within your power. You can't eliminate every worry, but you can disconnect from screens and create a more peaceful sleep environment. Develop discipline. Go to bed at the same time every night and treat it like an unbreakable appointment with your future self. Avoid excess. Stoicism teaches that excess leads to imbalance. This applies to caffeine, screen time before bed, and unnecessary worries. Good sleep isn't a luxury. It's a biological necessity. If you neglect it, the price will be high. Less energy, more wrinkles, premature aging, and a constant cycle of exhaustion. Now, you might be thinking, but what can I do if my life is stressful and I can't sleep well? That's a great question, and the answer lies in the next silent habit that's stealing your youth: daily stress, and how it's accelerating your aging without you even realizing it. But before we move on, I want to hear from you. Do you choose to face life's challenges with wisdom, or will you remain a prisoner to habits that drain you? If you're committed to your growth, write in the comments, "I live by Stoic philosophy, accepting life's challenges without letting them shake me." This isn't just a comment, it's a commitment to yourself and your transformation. Sleeping too little and thinking it's fine. Have you ever noticed that some people seem to age faster than others, even when they're the same age? It could be genetics, it could be stress, but there's a silent villain that most people ignore, one that may be destroying your health and appearance without you even realizing it: sleep deprivation. We live in a society that romanticizes insomnia. Who hasn't heard phrases like, "sleep is for the weak," or "work while they sleep"? But the Stoics taught us that living wisely means respecting the natural rhythms of life, and sleep is one of the most important pillars of our existence. Marcus Aurelius, in his Meditations, wrote, "The best way to get revenge on life is to enjoy it." And how can you enjoy it if you don't give your body the rest it needs? Poor sleep isn't a sign of productivity. It's a sign of self-sabotage. Every night of insufficient sleep is another brick in the foundation of a weaker body, a more unstable mind, and an aging face. Have you ever noticed how, after a bad night's sleep, your face looks more tired, with dark circles, dull skin, and a weary expression? That's because sleep is the time when your body repairs and strengthens itself. During the night, your body enters a deep restoration mode. Your brain clears out toxins, your skin regenerates damaged cells, and your hormones work to balance your immune system. But when you cut this recovery time short, you're preventing your body from doing what it was designed to do. The result? Accelerated aging, weight gain, weakened immunity, and unbearable stress levels. Seneca, one of the greatest Stoic philosophers, said, "We suffer more in imagination than in reality." How many times have you found yourself lying in bed, unable to sleep, worrying about the future, work, money, or relationships? The very habit of overthinking before bed is already harming your health. Living stressed and never relaxing. Have you ever felt like your mind never shuts off? Like you're trapped in a maze of endless worries, constantly racing against time, but never really moving forward? This is the effect of chronic stress, one of the most lethal silent killers of both body and mind. The Stoics understood this centuries ago. Epictetus reminds us, men are not disturbed by things, but by the view they take of them. In other words, it's not the problem itself that destroys us, but the way we react to it. Stress doesn't just wear down your mind, it literally ages your body. Every time you feel anxious, irritated, or overwhelmed, your body enters a state of high alert, releasing cortisol and adrenaline, the hormones responsible for the fight or flight response. This reaction is helpful in real danger, but when stress becomes a permanent state, it begins to corrode your health like rust on metal. What happens when stress takes over your life? Your skin loses elasticity. Cortisol breaks down collagen, causing premature wrinkles and sagging. Your hair starts falling out. Have you noticed more strands on your pillow? Stress is one of the biggest triggers of hair loss. Your heart suffers. Constant stress puts excessive strain on your cardiovascular system, increasing the risk of high blood pressure and heart disease. Your body ages faster. Stress shortens telomeres, the protective caps on your DNA, responsible for cellular aging. The shorter they become, the faster you age. What's the solution? The answer comes straight from Stoic philosophy. Learn to control what you can and accept what you can't. How to apply Stoicism to reduce stress and slow aging. Practice indifference toward what you can't control. Seneca said, "It is foolish to suffer before it is necessary." How many times have you lost sleep over something that never even happened? Apply what the Stoics call the dichotomy of control. If something is outside your control, stop fighting it. Make meditation a daily habit. Epictetus teaches, "No man is free who is not master of himself." One of the best ways to develop this inner freedom is through meditation. You don't need to become a monk. Just take a few minutes each day to focus on your breath and detach from the mental storm. Learn to slow down and rebalance your body. Stoicism values self-mastery, and that includes how you manage your time and energy. Small habits like walking outdoors, having a moment of silence in the morning, and taking deep breaths when you feel overwhelmed can make all the difference. The truth is simple but harsh. If you don't reduce stress, you're trading years of your life for unnecessary worries. And if you think that's an exaggeration, consider this. A fast-paced, stressful life often goes hand in hand with another destructive habit, excessive sugar consumption. What most people don't realize is that stress and sugar are deeply connected, forming a ruthless duo in premature aging. In the next section, we'll explore how sugar might be sabotaging your appearance and health without you even noticing. If this content has already helped you see aging from a new perspective and added value to your life, take action now. Subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications to keep learning how the Stoics applied their philosophy to live with more discipline, balance, and longevity. Your support helps spread this message to more people who need this transformation. And of course, if this topic resonates with you, leave a like to strengthen this community. Consuming too much sugar without realizing it. Have you ever stopped to think that maybe it's not time aging you, but what you put on your plate every day? Sugar may taste sweet, but it's a silent poison for your skin, body, and mind. The Stoics taught that uncontrolled desires make us slaves to our own impulses, and excessive sugar consumption is a perfect example of this. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "What is in our power to do is also in our power not to do." Yet millions of people can't resist sugar, even knowing how much it's damaging their health. What happens when you consume too much sugar? It accelerates skin aging. Sugar triggers a process called glycation, which destroys collagen and elastin in your skin. The result? Deeper wrinkles, dull skin, and a tired-looking face long before its time. It causes silent inflammation in the body. Seneca said, "Hasten to live well, and think that each day by itself is a life." But how can you live well if your body is constantly inflamed due to sugar? Chronic inflammation doesn't just increase the risk of diseases like diabetes and high blood pressure, it also wears down your organs and cells. It increases stress and anxiety. Have you ever noticed how, after a sugar high, you experience a sudden crash, low energy, and irritability? This happens because sugar disrupts your hormones and neurotransmitters, causing mood swings and raising cortisol levels, the same stress hormone we discussed earlier. It contributes to weight gain pain, and constant fatigue. Epictetus warned us, "No man is free who is not master of himself." But how can you master yourself if your impulses control you, making you crave sugar constantly? Sugar is addictive. The more you consume, the more you need. The result? More stored fat, less energy, and a slower metabolism. How to use Stoicism to break free from this destructive habit. Practice self-control and moderation. Stoicism doesn't promote total deprivation, but balance. Replace processed foods with natural options and train yourself to consume sweets only occasionally, not as a daily habit. Develop dietary discipline. Seneca said, "It is not because things are difficult that we do not dare. It is because we do not dare that they are difficult." Building discipline with food is a challenge, but each day you resist sugar, you're creating a future of better health and vitality. Recognize and question your impulses. Next time you crave sugar, stop and ask yourself, do I really need this, or am I just looking for instant gratification? This simple reflection breaks the autopilot mode and helps you make conscious choices. If you think you can offset excessive sugar consumption with a balanced lifestyle, here's a harsh truth. Sugar not only accelerates aging, but also fuels another destructive habit, sedentarism. Many people feel too exhausted to exercise, when in reality, they're stuck in a cycle of poor eating and lack of movement. In the next section, we'll discuss how a sedentary lifestyle is sabotaging your youth and why the Stoics valued physical strength just as much as mental strength. Being sedentary and not moving your body. Have you noticed how inertia takes over? Days spent sitting, feeling drained, watching time slip through your fingers. You feel the fatigue, the stiffness in your body, but you tell yourself that tomorrow will be different. The problem? Tomorrow never comes. The Stoics understood that the body and mind are one, and that a strong body supports a resilient mind. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "What is not good for the hive is not good for the bee." If your body suffers, your mind suffers too. What happens when you become sedentary? Your metabolism slows down. You start feeling more fatigue, poorer circulation, and a gradual loss of vitality. Your brain loses performance. Epictetus said, "The man who is making progress must exercise every day." Physical movement enhances memory, reduces stress, and fights depression. Your body ages prematurely. Lack of exercise reduces collagen production, leading to sagging skin, joint pain, and muscle stiffness. How to escape this trap? Practice the Stoic principle of self-discipline. You don't need to run a marathon, but you do need to move. Daily walks, stretching, strength training, any movement counts. Turn exercise into a ritual. Seneca said, "Discipline is the bridge between goals and achievements." Make physical activity a non-negotiable part of your routine. Embrace the initial discomfort. Your body resists change, but repetition builds habit. Before you know it, movement will feel as natural as breathing. But if you think just moving is enough to preserve your youth, think again. The next silent habit is draining your energy and drying out your skin without you realizing it. Dehydration. Drinking too little water and thinking it doesn't matter. Have you ever looked in the mirror and noticed dull skin, sunken eyes, and an overall tired appearance? You might blame stress, aging, or even lack of sleep, but the truth could be much simpler. Your body is crying out for water. Most people don't drink even half the water they should, and they don't realize the effects. But the Stoics knew that the body should be treated with the same respect as the mind. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Nature gave you this body. Take care of it as you would something precious." What happens when you don't drink enough water? Your skin ages faster. Dehydration steals your skin's elasticity, leading to wrinkles and a tired appearance. Your brain suffers. Epictetus said, "If you want to improve, be prepared to look foolish." The problem is, without water, your brain loses performance, harming your focus and memory. Your body becomes toxic. Water flushes out toxins. Without it, your liver and kidneys become overloaded, accelerating cellular aging. How to adopt this habit with Stoic discipline? Turn hydration into a ritual. Just as a Stoic disciplines their mind, discipline yourself with water. Keep a bottle with you at all times. Drink water upon waking and before bed. A small action that makes a big difference. Associate hydration with specific moments. Seneca said, "Repetition is the mother of learning." Drink water before meals, when leaving the house, and when starting a new task. But here's the truth. Drinking water won't help if your mind is poisoned with negativity. In the next section, we'll talk about how negative thoughts accelerate aging just as much as an unhealthy lifestyle. Being trapped in negative thoughts and complaints Have you ever noticed how some people seem to carry the weight of the world on their shoulders? Nothing is ever good enough. Everything is a reason to criticize, and any situation becomes an excuse to complain. What they don't realize is that this mental pattern is destroying their health and accelerating their aging. Stoic philosophy teaches that the mind can be our greatest ally or our worst enemy. Epictetus said, "It is not things that disturb us, but our opinion about them." This means that suffering often doesn't come from events themselves, but from the way we interpret them. When you cultivate negative thoughts, your body reacts. The chronic stress caused by a pessimistic mindset constantly releases cortisol, a hormone that breaks down collagen, weakens the immune system, and accelerates cellular aging. Negativity doesn't just affect the mind, it leaves physical marks on the face, creating expression lines and a tired, aged appearance. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The happiness of your life depends on the quality of your thoughts." Yet many people feed a cycle of complaints and useless worries daily, never stopping to question the impact this has on their existence. How does Stoicism help break this destructive pattern? Focus only on what is within your control. Complaining about traffic, the weather, or other people's behavior changes nothing. Seneca said, "What we cannot avoid, we must endure with serenity." Change your internal narrative. When you feel trapped in negativity, ask yourself, does this really deserve my energy? Many times, simply reevaluating a thought shifts the way we deal with it. The truth is, the more time you spend immersed in negative thoughts, the more isolated you become. Pessimism creates distance between you and others, making life feel lonelier and less meaningful. In the next section, we'll discuss the devastating impact of social isolation on aging and how the Stoics valued human connections to keep the mind and spirit strong. Social isolation and avoiding interactions. Have you ever noticed how loneliness can be silent but devastating? Many times, we think distancing ourselves from people is a form of protection, a way to avoid emotional exhaustion. But in reality, isolation accelerates aging and steals precious years from our lives. Although Stoic philosophy emphasizes self-sufficiency, it also recognizes the importance of human connection. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "What is not good for the hive is not good for the bee." This means that living in society is not just a choice, it's a biological and psychological necessity. How does social isolation impact your health? It increases the risk of cardiovascular diseases, depression, and dementia. It accelerates cognitive decline, making the brain more vulnerable to aging. It shortens lifespan. People with active social bonds tend to live longer and age more healthily. Epictetus reminds us, man was not born to live alone. Human contact strengthens emotional resilience, offers different perspectives, and prevents us from getting lost in our own thoughts. Stoicism teaches that living in a community is a fundamental part of personal and spiritual development. The digital age, more connected yet more isolated. The problem today is that many people believe they are connected when they are actually more isolated than ever. Likes and text messages don't replace deep conversations and real shared experiences. The human brain is wired to interpret facial expressions, vocal tones, and gestures, and when these interactions are reduced, we enter a state of disconnection that profoundly affects us. How to apply Stoic principles to overcome social isolation. Reevaluate your priorities. If you feel isolated, ask yourself, is this isolation a conscious choice, or am I just avoiding the world? Often, distancing ourselves from people is a cycle of negativity, where we believe that others have nothing to offer us, or that we will always be misunderstood. Practice gratitude for the relationships you already have. Seneca said, "Nothing is more valuable than a loyal friend." Building relationships does not mean being surrounded by crowds, but rather valuing and strengthening the meaningful connections you already have. Isolation may feel comfortable in the short term, but in the long term, it destroys your health and accelerates your aging. And there's one habit that makes this even worse: neglecting your body. In the next section, we'll discuss why taking care of your skin is more important than you think, and how ignoring it may be making you look older than you really are. Neglecting skincare and ignoring sunscreen. Have you ever noticed how some people seem to age faster than others, even when they have similar lifestyles? The answer often lies in the mirror. Your skin directly reflects the care, or lack of it, you give your body. The Stoics valued discipline and self-care as part of the path to a balanced life. Epictetus said, "First learn the meaning of what you say and then speak." The same applies to your body. Before neglecting your health, understand the consequences. Why is skincare essential for healthy aging? Your skin is your first line of defense. It's the largest organ in your body, protecting you from environmental damage, pollution, and UV radiation. Yet many believe skin aging is purely genetic, ignoring external factors that accelerate wrinkles, spots, and loss of elasticity. Sun damage is the #1 cause of premature aging. Seneca wrote, "Life, if well lived, is long enough." But how can you fully enjoy life if you're not taking care of your body? UV radiation breaks down collagen and elastin fibers, leading to wrinkles and sagging skin. The sun damages your skin every day, even when it's cloudy. Many people think sunscreen is only necessary on sunny days, but UV rays penetrate through clouds and cause cumulative skin damage over time. Daily sunscreen use is not a luxury, it's a necessity. How to apply Stoic wisdom to skincare. Prevention is smarter than correction. Stoicism teaches avoiding excess and acting rationally. Taking care of your skin is not vanity, it's respect for your body. Small daily choices have long-term effects. Marcus Aurelius said, "What we do now echoes in eternity." Every decision you make today, like applying sunscreen and staying hydrated, shapes your health and appearance in the future. Neglecting skincare isn't just about looking older, it's about losing the opportunity to age with health and dignity. But there's an even bigger mistake that worsens this situation: a poor diet full of processed foods. In the next section, we'll discuss how your diet could be aging you from the inside out without you even realizing it. Eating poorly and living off processed foods. Have you ever stopped to think that your diet might be accelerating your aging without you realizing it? Many people believe that aging quickly is purely genetic, but in reality, what you put on your plate every day determines how your body will respond to time. The Stoics understood that moderation and awareness of what we consume are essential for a balanced life. Seneca said, "True happiness is to enjoy the present without anxious dependence on the future." But how can you enjoy the present if your diet is poisoning you, draining your energy, and compromising your longevity? The truth about processed food and aging. A diet rich in ultra-processed foods, refined sugars, and artificial fats inflames the body and disrupts hormones, destroys skin quality, and damages internal organs, accelerates collagen breakdown, leading to wrinkles and sagging skin, causes water retention, and slows down cellular regeneration. The human body was designed to function with natural and nutrient-rich foods, but modern life has replaced fruits, vegetables, and healthy proteins with artificial products loaded with preservatives and chemicals. When you rely on processed foods, you feed a cycle of silent inflammation. This process accelerates aging, overloads the liver, and leaves you in a constant state of fatigue and weight gain. What does Stoicism teach about food? Epictetus said, "First say to yourself what you would be, then do what you have to do." If you want a strong body and a sharp mind, your diet must reflect that. It's not about following extreme diets or completely eliminating certain foods, but rather making conscious choices that promote long-term health. Avoid excess and seek balance. Stoicism teaches us to moderate indulgences, gradually replace processed foods with whole natural options, cut down on sugar, and listen to what your body truly needs. Small daily choices create lasting impact. Every meal you choose wisely contributes to a healthier, more resilient body. But eating well isn't enough if your mind is constantly overloaded with useless stimuli. In the next section, we'll discuss how excessive consumption of social media, news, and irrelevant information might be draining your energy and accelerating the aging of your brain. Excessive stimulation, social media, news, TV. Have you ever felt like your mind is always tired, as if it's overloaded, but you don't know why? Maybe the problem isn't overwork or lack of sleep. It's the constant flood of useless information you consume daily. The Stoics valued silence and introspection as tools to strengthen the mind. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Paying attention to what is happening in our own soul frees us from many distractions. Yet most people spend their days jumping from one stimulus to another, never giving their brain a moment of true rest." The modern problem, hyperconnectivity. Unlike ancient philosophers, we now face a unique challenge: constant digital stimulation. The human brain was not designed to handle endless notifications, short videos, and instant entertainment, a constant stream of negative news. This excessive consumption creates a state of mental fatigue, damaging focus and concentration, stress levels and emotional stability, brain aging and cognitive function. When you jump from screen to screen, your brain loses its ability to dive deep into thoughts and meaningful reflections. This shallow consumption of information weakens memory, decision-making, and creativity. Why social media and news make you anxious. Constant exposure to irrelevant content disrupts your brain's pleasure and motivation hormones. Each notification or new post triggers a dopamine spike, creating a cycle where your brain always craves the next stimulus, never feels satisfied, becomes restless, anxious, and overstimulated. This leads to poor sleep, low attention span, and reduced social connection. How to break free. Using Stoic principles, Epictetus reminds us, silence and discipline are tools for the wise man. Reduce time spent on distractions, limit social media use, avoid toxic news, and replace mindless scrolling with meaningful activities like reading and meditation. Filter what enters your mind. Just as you carefully choose the food you eat, be mindful of the mental junk food you consume daily. The final and most dangerous habit, living on autopilot. But there's an even bigger problem than excessive information consumption, living without questioning your own existence. In the next and final section, we'll discuss how the lack of self-awareness prevents you from aging with wisdom and purpose. Avoiding self-knowledge and living on autopilot. Have you ever felt like the days pass by, but nothing really changes? You wake up, go to work, scroll through social media, deal with daily problems, and go to bed, all on autopilot, without ever questioning where your life is heading. The problem is that living this way not only prevents you from evolving, but also accelerates your mental and emotional aging. The Stoics understood that self-knowledge is essential for a fulfilling life. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The man who does not examine himself gets lost in the chaos of existence." If you never stop to reflect on who you are, what you want, and which habits are shaping your life, you're handing over control of your existence to chance, like a leaf carried by the wind. Why living without reflection ages you faster? Lack of self-awareness creates a cycle of dissatisfaction. Without clarity about your values and purpose, you end up chasing external happiness, money, status, fleeting distractions, while ignoring the importance of inner growth. Over time, this lack of direction leads to frustration, anxiety, and emotional exhaustion. It creates a feeling of time slipping away, making you feel older than you are. Seneca warned, "If we do not know where we are going, no wind is favorable." Without self-reflection, you fail to see which habits are destroying your health, which relationships are toxic, which thoughts are draining your inner peace. How to apply Stoicism to break free from autopilot. Practice self-reflection. The Stoics believe that the path to balance starts with observation and transformation. Taking daily time to reflect on your actions, thoughts, and emotions isn't a waste of time. It's an investment in your longevity and well-being. Use a Stoic journal. Epictetus advised reflecting each night with questions like, "What did I do today? What could I have done better?" Reduce distractions and embrace silence. Excess external stimulation disconnects you from yourself. Challenge your beliefs and patterns. Don't just accept things as they are. Ask yourself, does this still make sense for me? The final truth, aging with wisdom versus letting time pass. Stoicism teaches that life only has meaning when lived with intention and awareness. To age without self-knowledge is to simply watch time pass. To age with wisdom is to use every day as an opportunity for growth. Now the final question, what will you do with this knowledge? In the next step, we will structure the introduction and conclusion to make this video as powerful as the truth it carries. If you've made it this far, you now understand that aging quickly isn't just a matter of time. It's a result of daily choices. Small, seemingly harmless habits are wearing down your body, mind, and energy without you even realizing it. Now stop for a moment and reflect. How many of these habits are present in your life today? How many have you practiced without considering their long-term impact? The truth is, no one wakes up one day and suddenly becomes old. Accelerated aging is the result of years of neglecting what truly matters. The Stoics taught us that life isn't about what happens to us, but about how we choose to live. Marcus Aurelius said, "You have power over your mind, not external events. Realize this, and you will find strength." This means that from this moment on, you have two choices. Ignore everything you've learned here and continue living on autopilot. Take control and start reversing this process today. Are you truly willing to change? Are you ready to let go of the habits that are aging you and start living with more awareness, discipline, and purpose? If this message resonated with you, leave a comment saying, "I choose my vitality." Also, share which of these habits surprised you the most. And if you want to go even further and keep learning how to strengthen your mind and body through Stoic wisdom, there's another video on the screen that will show you exactly how the Stoics used their philosophy to transform their lives. Click now and continue your journey toward a stronger, more balanced, and longer life. See you there.